Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. I am super excited for today's video and today's products. They are from one of my all-time favorite brands. I have the newest launch from Pat McGrath Labs, the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection System. Mila likes it too, don't you? This is Mother's first collection that includes foundation and skin products, and I'm so excited to share them and my thoughts with you. First in the collection, there's a primer that is $60. There's also a setting powder that is $55 and comes in 5 shades: light, light medium, medium, medium deep, and deep. Last but not least is the foundation, and I just have to take a second to show you guys the outer packaging that this foundation comes with. It is so cool. And here is the foundation. It is $68 and comes in 36 shades. For those of you out there that are like me and are very concerned about buying foundation online, I just want to share my story and my journey toward this foundation with you guys. I almost did not buy this because there are no Sephora stores in my area that sell the full Pat McGrath line in stores. They have some of the Beauty on the Fly and they get the minis, but not the full line, not where you can really go swatch and play and try the lipsticks and the glosses. And oh my gosh, if I lived close to a store that carried Pat McGrath, I would be in so much trouble and honestly covered in lip gloss all day, every day. But instead, I did discover on the website that Sephora does have a shade finder little widget, which you tell your normal foundation brand and shade, and it tells you your closest or exact match to the Pat McGrath foundation, not just the Pat McGrath foundation. I know it does it for others too, but that's beside the point. So I used the shade finder and I told it that I normally wear MAC Pro Longwear in NC20, and it popped up that I had an exact match for LM8 or light medium 8. And that did give me a little bit more confidence with buying foundation online, but of course I was still a little bit nervous while I was waiting for it to arrive, and when it got here I swatched it and it really was an exact match. So yay Sephora shade finder, I love that. And with 36 shades, you should be able to find a shade that works for you. On Sephora.com, you can purchase each of these 3 items individually, or on the Pat McGrath website, you can purchase all 3 individually or all 3 products in a little trio, or you can also purchase the full system, which is the foundation, the setting powder, the primer, and 2 brushes, a powder brush, and a foundation brush. You can also buy the brushes individually at Sephora. The powder brush is $58 and the foundation brush is $55. Today, I'm going to walk you through using all 3 products in the course of creating this look. So without further ado, let's get started. As you can see, I've already done my eye makeup for today's look. I used the original Mothership palette in Subliminal because I am completely obsessed with this blue shade. And I used the Pat McGrath Perma Precision Liquid Eyeliner. First up, we have the primer. It has a slight pink hint to it. It's very creamy. There is really no smell to it. It's just very fresh, clean. It kind of feels like nothing. It is very lovely. Of course, my skincare guru approves. Now for the big exciting moment of the day, we have the foundation. I have the shade Light Medium 8. I have heard that you can apply this with your fingers, a sponge, or a brush, and that Mother herself usually applies it with her fingers. However, I am not a total pro at that. I prefer using a brush or a sponge, and lately I'm really into these Cosmetics brushes, so I am going to use them today. I like like this airbrush foundation brush for application and this bigger foundation brush for a little bit of buffing and blending. I also love putting my foundation onto this little acrylic piece right here. I used to be totally guilty of putting it on the back of my hand, and then I would inevitably forget that I did that, and I would walk around for the rest of the day with a weird little foundation splotch on the back of my hand. And not only that, but this little piece of acrylic makes me feel super fancy, and I love any little touch that can just glam up my day. It generally takes me about 2 pumps of foundation to cover my face, so I am going to go ahead and do that now. The first thing that I noticed about this foundation is that it is very liquidy, so just be aware of that. Now I'm going to go in with my more dense brush to buff this all out. This formula is so light and airy. It's very thin. It's giving me that major my skin but better kind of feel. It really doesn't feel like I have any product on at all. I think the light medium 8 is a very great match for my skin, and I'm actually surprised how much coverage you can get from such a lightweight foundation. It's very nice. Now I'm going to go in with my Tarte ShapeTape and my airbrush concealer brush from IT Cosmetics and do a little bit of a touch up under my eyes. Next up, we have the Pat McGrath setting powder in light medium 2. This powder is tinted, which is a first for me. I have only ever used a translucent setting powder, so I am a little bit nervous, but I am going to pat out the concealer under my eyes. Now that I've been making faces, I probably have wrinkles again, and I'm going to apply this powder lightly with this Sephora Featherweight Blending Brush. And I'm going to put just a little bit of the powder that is left on the brush all over the rest of my face. I think that color turned out really lovely. I think the texture of the powder was awesome. I feel like sometimes when you use a setting powder that is a little bit too thick or heavy or the wrong color, you can actually see it sitting on your skin. And I feel like even though I just put this on, the setting powder has really kind of melted into my skin. I don't really look like I have any powder at all. It's really pretty. Now that I have used all 3 of my Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection products, I am going to go ahead and speed things up and apply my contour, blush, highlighter, and some lips. And I will be right back. Of course, I could not complete a Pat McGrath look without my ultimate all-time favorite Lust Gloss in Divine Rose. I am completely obsessed with these Lust glosses. I have probably like 8 of them. It's a bit out of control, but they are just so good. Also today, since I did not have a Pat McGrath blush, highlight, or bronzer, I used my all-time go-to Sephora collection bronzer in Los Cabos, and I tried out 2 new products from Benefit that I saw at Sephora this week. I have the blush in California, which is a sunny golden pink that I really love, and the Dandelion Twinkle highlight, which I am totally obsessed with. It is so beautiful. I will admit there is one Pat McGrath product that I have that I did not use today, and that is the mascara. I don't feel like it really makes my lashes long and luscious, and they really go spidery. So instead I tried the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara in Blackest Black, and I also added the primer. Of course, I used the primer first. If you would like to know more about the L'Oreal mascara and mascara primer, the Benefit blush and highlighter, or the Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette, the liquid liner, or any of the glosses or lipsticks, let me know in the comments below. So now my thoughts on the 3 new Pat McGrath products. As for the primer, for me, I'm not particularly a die-hard primer fan. I can kind of take it or leave it. I will say on days that I use primer, I do still have more foundation on when I use my makeup wipe at the end of the night. However, I'd really probably have to pay attention more when I wear primer versus when I don't to see if it actually makes that big of a difference for me. On the daily, I don't notice a difference, but if you are a primer fan, this primer is very nice. It was very thick and creamy, which I like. It had a nice, fresh, nothing smell, and it is 1 fluid ounce, so it is TSA travel size. And I only used 1 pump today, which means there are a lot of uses in this little bottle. Onto the foundation. Of course, I think the foundation is my favorite of the 3 new products. I have been an avid MAC Pro Longwear user for at least the past decade. It is my absolute go-to. I love it. I love everything about it. But I found out that they are in the middle of discontinuing the OG version and they brought out a new version. I am not as big of a fan of the new version, so I'm kind of out finding a new foundation love match, I guess. So now that I have this little beauty, I'm kind of excited. It's a lot lighter than what I'm used to, a lot thinner than what I'm used to, but it's very nice and it makes my skin feel very hydrated and very light. I don't feel caked on. I don't feel heavy. I don't feel like I have a ton of product or heavy makeup on, which is really nice. Again, it had a nice, fresh, clean, nothing smell, and I just can't get over this bottle. This bottle is really lovely. It will look so pretty on a vanity, bathroom counter, or just in your makeup bag. It just feels fancy. It is a little over 1 ounce, so it is also TSA travel friendly. It also comes in 36 different shades, so you are sure to find one that will suit you and your skin. Last but not least, we have the setting powder. I know with my history with setting powders, it is dangerous to be holding it like this, but I am anyway. I really enjoyed this setting powder. It was really lovely. It's super soft and super lightweight. You can even tell by looking at the little powders, pigments, not quite sure what you call this, but you can tell that the powder is very, very finely milled. It is so soft and so light. My only complaint about this packaging is that I can't seem to get the powder to go back into its little sifter area. For my personal preference, there's too much powder out here right now, and I wish it would go back in the container so that I don't spill it everywhere. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and close it. Now that I have tried the setting powder in a tinted color, I actually really do enjoy that. And this does come in 5 different shades. So again, you are sure to find a shade that will work for your skin. Of course, one last time, I do have to touch on the packaging because I am a huge fan of great packaging and great branding. Of course, the 3 new products do fit in perfectly with the other products in the Pat McGrath Labs lines. This is my final look, and those are my final thoughts on the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection System by Pat McGrath. And now it is your turn. Let me know in the comments below what you think of these products. Have you tried them? Are you excited about them? Have you used any of Mother's products in the past? Also, don't forget to let me know if there's something else you want to see, a product you want me to try, any of the new things I tried out today. If you want to hear more about those, let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing from you guys and hearing what you have to say. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today. As always, I love hanging out with you. If you enjoy hanging out with me, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you know when I launch a new video, and I will see you guys next time.